So you don't have enough time, money, equipment. Well, neither do I. Since the beginning of everything you are watching here at Free Talk, we have received a lot of positive comments about the quality of our videos, or people say that we have a great production behind what's happening at Free Talk. But you gotta know that that's not true. We have very, very few things. When we started Free Talk, all we had was an idea and a good intention. We wanted to do something different. We wanted to create something that didn't exist and that we believed was necessary. But it was a great challenge because we didn't have any of the resources that we needed to make that a reality. Since we launched this course, we received a lot of positive comments about the quality of our videos. Some people were even believing that we had this great production team behind us. Some people believed we were using a studio to record. But do you know how many people are behind this idea? There is just two. Me, who you are watching in front of the camera, and my brother, who is behind the camera. That's it. We are using an old camera that I bought at a pawn shop. I am not a photographer. I never had the intention of buying equipment to record because I never imagined myself making videos on the internet. But here we are. So when we started, we had this camera, we had this idea, we had a notebook, we had a pen, and we started writing what we wanted Free Talk to be. And then we started experimenting with the camera, and we started experimenting with the sound, and we started experimenting with some ideas for new shows, and here we are now. But we didn't have a lot of money to buy expensive gear. We didn't have a lot of time because this is not my day job. I have a day job. I have to go out and have classes with students. That's how I make my money. So I didn't have a lot of time, but we did it. We took all those resources that we have and we exploited it to their best. So what I'm trying to say here is that it's not really relevant what you have. What's really important is what you do with what you have. Take this camera, for example. This camera is a cheap camera. It's not a fancy camera. You don't get great resolution with it. So what do we have to do? We have to play with the light. We have to play with the location. We have to play with the time of the day we decide to record. And then we take the film to the computer, and we are not using a professional editing software, and we are making all the corrections we can to make this final product something that is worth watching, something that you can use. But we are using it, we are doing all this with the very minimum resources. We don't have a lot of time, but we can find moments, short moments during the day to shoot these videos and to edit them and to make the images and to make everything. We are just finding the time. It is up to you and completely up to you to maximize your resources. Just imagine a different scenario here. Just imagine that we have the most expensive gear to shoot these videos. We have a super fast computer. We have professional editing software. We have a budget. We have money to make things. But we don't know what to do with them. And we are not thinking creatively. And we are not making anything happen. And we have all those resources there, but they are good for nothing. So those are the two things, the two ideas that we need to contemplate here. A lot of people, a lot of my students, people that I work with, are saying that they don't have enough time. That is one of the biggest issues. I don't have time. I have 30 minutes free every day where I could really study English. And 30 minutes are excellent to begin if you know how to maximize them. For starters, if you are using those 30 minutes to sleep, you are not putting your resources to good use. If you are using them to do something that is not relevant or helpful to your learning, same thing. You are not using your 30 minutes wisely. So if you have only 30 minutes every day that you can use to, in this case, learn English, but you use them to sleep or to rifle through Facebook and people's posts that don't mean anything to you, you are of course not using your time wisely. Every minute of your English learning that you use in that period of 30 minutes is going to help you, but you need to use it. Take for example all the content that we are making here for you. We are making videos for beginners with expressions. We are making now these videos for people with a little more advanced level. We are going to make more videos. We have a podcast. We are going to make articles. So you have all those resources, but if you only go through them and you don't check them out, you are not really using your time. It's not how much time you have, it's what you do with it. When I was teaching English in a private school, we were using these old English textbooks that, in my opinion, are not the best way to learn. But we were using them, and that was for some people, it was the only contact they had with the language. And they were not exploiting that. People used to take their English books to the class and they would listen to the teacher, in this case me, talking. They would make notes and then they would go and they would say like, why am I not learning? I am coming to class, I'm listening and making notes. Why am I not learning? And I would say, you are coming here to this class not because you need to learn, but because this place, it's a safe place. Here you can make mistakes. Nobody's gonna make fun of you. You can ask questions. You can make the language understandable. But most of the times, students would just come to the class, sit down, listen, and that's it. And they would go home and they would not check the books. And that is something that I will always recommend my students. You are coming to the class. What you are watching on this class, on this session, this day, it's now clear to you because we made it clear. So what you need to do is to use that language that you know and check it different times during the day. Because if you don't, you will forget it. And they didn't, and they forgot it. So these guys were paying money every month, they were investing their time, but they were not making the most of it. And you need to make the most of it. You need to make the most of everything you have. If you have very little, you can change that very little into more things. Think about this as a money relationship. You have in your pocket some money. It's just a little money. It's not enough to make big things. If you take that money and you invest it, tomorrow you will have twice the money, and the next day you are going to have 4 times the money, and in time you are going to have enough money to do what you want to do. But if you have a lot of money and it's all there and you don't use it, that money is never going to grow. So think about it like this: it's not what you have, it's what you do with it. That is applied to language learning, that is applied to your money life, that is applied to anything you want to do. If you want to do something, you need to put it to work. We started this project with a cheap camera in my living room and a good intention, but we maximized every aspect of it. And if I hadn't done so, I wouldn't be talking to you right now. And that is an opportunity that I would hate to miss.